All right.
Well, there you go. So, words from everybody. One game remains.
Yes.
And
now, before we even get to that game,
it's very hot in here.
Oh yeah, it's very hot. Do you want to take a quick break?
Nah, that's right. I'll just do it.
Okay. Someone asked me this question on a podcast earlier today, and they asked me, "Do I feel like this is the most volatile Evo ever in terms of like just not being able to pick who wins?"
Street Fighter 5, or
the
everything?
whole thing, and I kind of think it is.
Really?
I kind of think it is because I just feel like there's so many unknown factors. Sonic Fox is not the favorite right now.
Well, he's the favorite, but he's not.
Right, yeah, he's not the same kind of favorite that he was before. Tekken now, everybody has their hands on the game now, right?
Right.
Street Fighter 5, we don't have like a favorite outside of maybe Punk coming into this, right? But like Guilty Gear, like the Americans are doing really well now. I feel like it's going to be exciting here.
Well, it will definitely be exciting.
I'm really, really looking forward to it.
It always is. There's not a boring Evo.
I just think, it's obviously we're sitting here voting with our brains, but I just feel like there's going to be some craziness going on this year. I feel like there's going to be some craziness. Anyways, let's do this. Street Fighter 5.
Street Fighter 5. There's a lot of players to talk about, and we have 15 minutes, and so I don't feel like we're going to get enough time to like really do justice. It's been the case for all the games, but now this game has so many players. It's just like it's hard to name that many. So there's only a few really that we can bring up.
All right, let me ask you this then right now, like not even just who's going to win or who's going to place top 3, but like in a weird way, I guess it is top 3. Who are your 3 top picks favorites right now that you feel like have the best chance to make top 8?
Top 8?
Yeah, the 3 players that have the best chance to make top 8.
Oh, I thought you were trying to have me name the top 3, but that's easier. Okay, I could pick 3 of the top 8?
Yes. Who are your most? Who
Punk
would you bet
gets in there?
Bet the most money on to get the top 8?
Punk, Cien, Haitani.
Ooh, okay, I like that. Because I have Punk, Cien, and then my last one, it's so hard for me to pick.
Dude, there's so many players to pick from.
Like Fudo, maybe?
Yeah, he was on the tip of my tongue for sure. We haven't mentioned Knuckle Doo. He's a good player. I don't know how we're not talking about him yet.
Let's talk about Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes has really been on the up and up, no doubt.
He's been doing super, super well. But again, the question that's on the tip of everybody's tongue, right, which is this the year that U.S. claims Evo in a major Street Fighter game?
Well, look, if it's not this year, then it's never happening. This is like the only year where it's been practical, where it's been reasonable to think that could happen. But yeah, I do think that it's likely. To me, the U.S. is the best in this game right now. If you look at Punk and Do, Snake Eyes is right in there. There's a lot of good players around the world. Smug, I guess you got a name.
Yes.
That's a good lineup, and there, of course, are more than that. But at the same time, there are so many strong players everywhere. Tons of players in Japan are coming, of course. East Asia is represented extremely well. Players from Europe are coming, and they're going to be threats. Players from the Caribbean and South America are coming. They're going to be threats. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is... It's funny. I feel like Punk is probably the best player in the world. That's my thought. I would be very surprised if he was not in top 8. That said, beyond just a few picks, I feel there are so many good players that it would be really tough to name a top 8. Rip just gave us his top 8, right? I don't think that we could practically do that in Street Fighter.
And plus the other thing, too, it's really just dependent on the bracket. Like, we'd have to look at the bracket as carefully as possible, because let's face it, 5,000 players last year, 2,500 this year. I really feel like majority of the 2,500 drop-offs is trimming the fat. I really feel like that the leftover 2,500 is like the people who didn't go 0-2. You know what I mean? This is going to be a scary bracket. Obviously, there's not everyone's going to be super strong, but like I just feel like the roads are going to be really crazy. And look, it's people are going to be like, "What? That sucks." But like the bracket will determine a lot, and that's just the truth about any tournament.
Well, that's true,
right? So, it's So hard to call this one.
Yeah, if you look at the top 10 CPT rankings, Punk, Knuckle-Dew, then Bonchan, right? He's had a lot of success with the Nash. He's the only guy doing that with the character. But more and more that I watch him, he is still coming up with creative things. He's still putting himself in different situations and finding little bits to sort of take control of. We talked about Snake Eyes. We talked about Cien, who he won final round. Hasn't been back to the States for a major since then.
Won a couple
but he has won others.
And remember, 9th place at EVO, 9th place at Capcom Cup last year with Fong.
I'm sorry, he went to DreamHack Austin and he got 3rd.
Right.
So he's extremely strong. And when we talk about Punk, Dew, Snake, Smug, like American players, they haven't had a chance to play against him as much as some other players who have been traveling to the U.S. more frequently.
Right.
So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be an interesting one. But Haitani's been consistent throughout Street Fighter V. Like who has been more consistent than him throughout Street Fighter V? The year.
Nobody. He's easily by far the most consistent player. Yeah. From start of Street Fighter V to finish. Yeah. Top 8 at final round.
Yeah. People thought he was the best when the game came out. Right.
And then Yukadon is listed there afterwards. Oil King has been doing really, really well. He has been doing really, really well. Got 2nd place at a couple tournaments. Only lost to Cien and Yukadon, I believe, just recently. But a lot of 2nd place finishes.
Yeah, and then Fudo. If there's anybody who challenges the most consistently successful status of Haitani, I think it's Haitani. But if there's any challengers, certainly Fudo.
Yeah, agreed.
He's been super good the whole time as well, and continues to be. And then I really like that in 10th right now is Mena RD. I think that's awesome from the Dominican. He's a young player, but so good, and he does things with Birdie that I think are not really done by anybody else.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I like that he has the Laura too to back himself up in case things go tough matches.
He's gonna catch a lot of players off guard who just don't have that Birdie practice. Because you're going to fight the Birdie and you're going to be like, this is how you standardly fight Birdie, but Mena RD is not a standard Birdie by any stretch of the imagination. Tokido, look, he's always a threat. He always has performed well at EVO. And he, at the recent Foxconn, PR Balrog was even saying now he believes that Akuma beats Balrog after playing against Tokido for a long period of time.
He just got top 8 at Tiger Uppercut, which is pretty stacked. So definitely still doing well. Then Phenom, we're not going to go through this whole list, but Phenom, is at the forefront of the European players. And man, he almost won E-League.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that was tough. Yeah. But even still, he's been super strong, and he won FFM Rumble this year. He's gotten top 8s or just outside at 4 premieres.
Yeah,
Okay, so he travels a lot, but he does well as he travels. So that's good for him. And then just want to talk about Itazan, right? Geef is good. He's a good character, right? Snake Eyes is higher up in points, but man, Itazan is so good.
Right. Itazan is the player that, even though I won't necessarily pick him for a top 8, I would probably pick him as number 1 on the list of every other player doesn't want him in their path.
Yeah, you don't know what he's gonna bring out. He's so unpredictable.
I don't care if you're Punk. I don't care if you're Joe Schmo. None of those people want to face
except
Itazan.
for Haitani. Haitani's happy.
Yeah, okay, except for Haitani.
Yeah. So again, I don't want to go through the whole list of the CPT folks.
I do want to mention Verloren. I'm still high on Verloren. However, he's one of my dark horse picks to make top 8. But I will say that it's now Verloren/NL. It's like one of the Korean Kami players could potentially make it up there, right? Xiao Hai, we didn't even mention in that list. Any other dark horses that you have that we haven't named yet?
I'm looking at Infectious.
Infectious, huh?
Yes, I'm looking at Infectious.
Okay.
From the UK. He just won whatever happened just recently. I forgot what the name of the tournament was. And the Geef is good. He keeps the Geef around, but man, the Necalli in Season 2 has been so strong for him, and he plays it like a grappler. So it's not the same style as other Necallis. It's a little bit different. So you got to take a different tack playing him. I like that. I think he's got a good upside. Remember, at Red Bull Kumite, he got third place.
I will also, one of my dark horses, and I don't even know why he's a dark horse, is Nemo. I think Nemo has
Is that a dark horse?
Yeah, it's not really a dark... He's just not listed there because he hasn't competed. He hasn't gotten enough points yet to be in that top 20. But Nemo, like, God, that guy I'm scared of him. I'm scared of him a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Very, very scared
I think it's really conceivable that top 8 could be, maybe a couple of Americans, then somebody from Japan, from Korea, from Singapore, from the UK, from Abu Dhabi, right? Like, there could be from the Dominican Republic. Like, the top 8 could, like, really be 7 different countries. Like, it's really plausible.
So sick. That would be so sick.
Yeah, it's the most international that Street Fighter has ever been, for sure.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about guys like Big Bird, Gamer B from Taiwan as well. Although, Taiwan, like I said, I feel like Oil King is doing a little bit stronger than him. But yeah, look, everyone's a threat, right? We have, like, I'm just looking at this list. We've got Brian F., XSK Samurai, who just got 3rd place at CEO, right? There's so many names in there of people. Like I said, I just feel like we've trimmed the fat on this one, and like at this point in time, it's just one of the scariest things. But if you want to be the best, you got to beat everybody.
You do. We haven't talked about Sako. There's
PR Balrog. LPN has been doing really well.
CJ Truth came back, and he seems like he's ridiculous already. There's a lot of that.
Let's talk about Mono a little bit, because Fang is scary now.
Yeah, his Fang is still good, dude.
I think Fang is super scary right now.
I don't know about super scary, but he is the most legit he's been in Street Fighter V.
The reason why I think he's so scary is because if you haven't got over the mindset that he sucks, he is going to blow you up.
You have to take him seriously.
Yeah, because at CEO, remember, Justin got bodied by a Fang player.
Yeah.
And so, like, you have to... he's a character that... when you learn how to play Street Fighter V and you learn the basic shimmy, throw, whatever, blah, 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 like, that doesn't, like, Fang is different than that. You know what I mean? He's, like, one of the more unique characters, so you really have to study that matchup. Otherwise, you're just going to run into this amazing Fang player and just die.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how the character top 8 turns out. Hard to know. People in the chat are talking about Infiltration. I just don't think he's going to be up there. I got to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to be up there. It hurts me to say that, but the character crisis and everything that he's been going through, he just got married. He's living life right now. He's doing his thing. He's doing a lot of IRL streams where he's doing mukbangs and eating and stuff like that. And, I love him to death. He is always going to be one of the most talented players. And if he takes the time, finds a character, and puts the time in it, he will be back in that top 8. No problem. I just don't think this is the year that it's going to happen for him. Yeah, he hasn't found a character for himself. I don't think he likes the game very much and doesn't put as much time into it. And he has other things going on, as you said. So I just don't think that that's going to happen. Right. Yeah, Haitani got married as well, but Haitani's going to do that work, man. If he doesn't make top 8, like, he is not going to be worse than, like, top 13 or whatever. Like, he's going to be up at the top end of the thing for sure. Daigo, I don't know. I feel like that's the best thing that I can say. It's not the Infiltration side where I'm pretty sure he's not going to do that great, meaning like he's not going to make top 8. I don't think it's like that. That said, it's definitely also not how I think of like Punk, who's like pretty sure he's going to make top 8. So, I don't know. Sometimes Daigo looks like he is in control and he knows everything and he knows it and he likes it and he's having a good time and he's just controlling stuff. And sometimes he looks like he just is like, I don't know what I'm doing here. What am I doing? I don't know which one it's going to be. So it's so hard to call. And plus the other thing, too, is that Daigo obviously does better in exhibitions or in formats where he knows his opponents. And Evo is craziness. So it's weird to say that I feel like that's a weakness for Daigo. But that's just because the field is so much stronger than it was before in 2009 and 2010. You could kind of sleepwalk through the first few rounds of your pools. You know what I mean? But now I just feel like everybody is scary. Everybody's a threat. So like someone could catch them off guard, like just doing like
crazy. And you know what? Daigo has admitted a bunch of times already, like, oh, I didn't know the Mika matchup well enough. Oh, I didn't know this character matchup well enough. You know, who knows what, like, Ed's going to run into him. Like, it's going to be some crazy Ed player, and he's going to be like, what does this character do?
Yeah, well, there will be strong Eds there.
Yeah.
There definitely will be.
Yeah.
That'll be part of the fun stuff to see, too, is how Ed and Colleen show up and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, it would take a long time to go through all of the players to watch. And I'm sorry that we don't have as much time as we would like to do that.
Winner.
But who wins?
Who wins?
Look, man, I called Punk to win Capcom Cup in, like, March. So just keep riding that horse.
I'm just going to say Punk.
Just keep riding that horse, yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
I pick Cien.
Cien, that would have been my second choice.
I'm picking Cien.
I like it.
I'm picking Cien. As much as I want US to win again, I just, Cien is, he's so good. And he's using a top tier character.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm worried about Cien.
No, yeah, Cien will be good. Neither of us said Knuckle-Doo?
To win it, you mean?
Yes.
Knuckle-Doo, look, I think he'll make top 8. There's no part of me that can doubt that he'll make top 8.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm kind of on this Punk and Cien train right now. Because Punk, actually, to be honest, it's like Punk, Cien, like Knuckle-Doo, Snake Eyes might be like my top 4 picks to win it. Yeah.
Well, I love Snakey, but I think I would put a few other people ahead of him.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would.
Dude, you know how I am. I'm always high on Snake Eyes, right? I always...
Yeah, remember that year when we called him to win Capcom Cup and he went like 0-2?
Yeah.
Yay! I'm trying to avoid that right now. But I think that there are too many strong players to make any strong guesses outside of like just a few. Mm-hmm. Just a few.
I agree.
So it's going to be a good one. I really like where the state of the game itself is. I think it's been developing more in more interesting ways. There have been more sort of it's not tech, but like movement ideas and like timings on buttons and what the defensive options are. Yeah, sometimes it's mashing, but deal with it. That's one of the things. Deal with it. I like it, and I like the characters that are good. Right, I think they're fun. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, and especially with this 2.5 patch kind of shaking things up a little bit.
So,
like I said, Fong is going to scare people. Dulcims are going to beat up a lot of people in this pool. I mean, what do you think about guys like Commander Jesse? What do you think about Idom?
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't expect Idom to do that great.
Just because he doesn't have the travel experience.
Only reason. Right. He is super strong, but he hides in his New York City over there, and is clearly extremely good. Extremely good. I worry that he doesn't have quite the experience of traveling and being on a bigger stage. And LBC is a tiny little hovel, folks. It's not big, and a lot of people watch it, but there's a different feeling if you know that there's a stream versus if there's like all these people behind you. They're like right there,
and like 120,000 people watching on stream as well.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So it's a different feeling. If he gets over that, then he can go very, very far. It's so good. But I do wish that he would travel more often, get a little bit more experience.
All these people are naming people in the chat. JB, Gustavo, all these people. Like, God, yeah, there's a lot. Like you said, there's too many. We definitely left out a crap ton of people.
We did
that we could talk about for Street Fighter V.
Agreed.
So.
How about this? And this will I'll go on. How many countries will be represented in the top 8?
5.
I was going to say 5. Now I'm going to say 6. Yes!
We can agree. We're allowed to agree. We're allowed to concur.
I'll stick with 5.
We're allowed to concur.
I'll stick with 5.
Yeah.